Iniesta only 5th. Despite Barcelona's shortcomings in the Champions League, they blew away everyone before them domestically, and that was in no small part thanks to Iniesta's brilliance in midfield.
Well, it's been a relatively quiet season by Barcelona standards, as they only won the Spanish title. But integral to that again was Andres Iniesta.
He's a fantastic player that could take responsibility, could play on the left, on the right, on the whole, score goals, assists. Very, very complete player. When I was in Barcelona, he was only a young kid, but the skillfuls always were there. He's a very talented, and I would put himself at the same level probably than Ronaldo or Messi.
If it wasn't for Juan Mata, Chelsea would be playing in the Europa League next season. He's probably the most complete midfielder in the Premier League.
Juan Mata is a super player. I am not surprised at all that he has done so well in Chelsea this year.
I'm not the biggest fan of Juan Mata, but you only have to look at the stats to see how important the Spaniard was for Chelsea last season.
Well, there's a lot of competition for places at Chelsea, but Juan Mata has seen off a number of those competitors to take his place as the chief playmaker at Stamford Bridge. And I think after a pretty disappointing Confederations Cup, he might soon be doing the same thing in the Spain team.
Very, very skillful player, a player that I do admire a lot.
Yeah, great player. Holding midfielder, keeps everything ticking, and as well, he's probably his own defender's greatest asset, because he'll break a lot of things up before he actually gets into the defence.
But for me, he's not even the best midfielder in the Bayern Munich team. I think Javi Martinez is a far more polished player, plays far more of an important role in that defensive position, starting attacks, but you can't begrudge Schweinsteiger's placing.
One of the chief criticisms levelled against Bayern's German players is that they're not possessed of the requisite mental fortitude in the face of disappointment and when the going gets tough. But Schweinsteiger showed after missing a penalty in the Champions League final what mental toughness is all about, as he led Bayern to an unprecedented treble in 2012-13.
Could Gareth Bale be in the consummate one-man team? For much of the season, it was Arsenal versus Gareth in the race for the 4th place in the Champions League.
Andres Villas-Boas practically let him off the leash, and he became a real attacking force and probably the best player in the Premier League.
I would expect him to be one of the most expensive players of all time when he does leave Tottenham, probably in a year's time. But it'll be justified because he's the best player in the Premier League at the moment, and that's why he swept all of the awards.
As a player, he has everything. He's only 23 years old. He's improving all the time. He's getting better and better every single game that he played.
He's ridiculously quick, very, very explosive, and he can get away from people. He can leave people behind, you know, in terms of his pace. And then when he does get in on goal, he's very composed.
He saved us many times, so he was like a hero, you know.
Arturo Vidal has emerged in the best midfield in Italy, that's the Juventus midfield. And he's probably the most important facet on a consistent week-to-week basis of that midfield trio.
He hunts down every ball, he's the best ball winner in Europe by a mile for me, and he scores goals as well. Really, he'd be the first pick on the midfield team sheet for pretty much any team in Europe.
Vidal had another excellent season for Juventus, drove them to the title alongside Pirlo. But for me, Gareth Bale should have destroyed him in this poll. Bale's goal record, Bale's consistency is greater than Vidal's, but that's not to take away from his box-to-box, his energy, his performances for Juventus.
All-action centre midfield player who can tackle, hassle, harry, pass, carry the ball and maintain that sort of stamina throughout a 90-minute period.
Pirlo and Vidal complement each other perfectly, really. Vidal wins the ball, Pirlo uses it. He's just an animal.